Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today for a little yoga for cyclists. Really, this can be for anyone that may be feeling a little bit tight in the hip flexors and around the fronts of the thighs, maybe in the shoulders too. These are areas that tend to get a little bit stiff and tired if you're on your bikes. So we're going to take a short amount of time just to stretch and move into those areas, maybe feel a little bit more open, find mobility once again, and maybe this will improve your time on your bike and aid for any recovery. So thanks for joining. You might need a brick for today's practice as well, or something that can be a little bit like a yoga brick. It can be a Tupperware box, maybe some tins or whatever else you might have around the house, some books. And let's just start standing at the top of the mat for a moment. Think about the broadness of the shoulders and the collarbones. Turn the palms open next to you by your sides. Close your eyes and take a nice big inhale where you are. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Hopefully you have your shoes off so you can feel the ground. And a nice big sigh out through the mouth. And as you're just standing here in what we call Tadasana, mountain pose, you try and engage the thigh muscles and lift the thigh muscles away from the knees, engage through the glutes. And as you press down through the big toe mound, can you try and lift the inner arches of your feet off the floor? So when we start really from the base of our bodies, whatever is connecting us to the ground, and try and lift that up, it starts to put everything else into nice alignment. So feel the ground beneath the feet, beneath the feet, exactly. Take a nice final breath in. Big sigh out through the mouth where you are. Bring the arms up over the head. And I want you to grab hold of your opposite elbows. Bend the elbows, grab hold of the opposite one. Drop your chin slightly and try and bring the arm bones slightly back past the ears. And add a little bit of a tilt from left and to right with the upper body. And maybe it's a little bit more of a twist to the left and to the right. Still trying to bring the arm bones back past the ears just a tiny, tiny bit. One more big breath in here. Lift the chest bone up towards the sky. And then exhale, bend the knees, bring the arms down by your sides and start to hinge the torso forward. Now only come forward about halfway. Can you bring your hands around the backs of your thighs, maybe right up towards the bum? Just grab hold of a part of your body here and really push the hands into the thighs or the glutes and pull forward through the crown of the head. Try and keep the shoulders broad, same with the collarbones. Squeeze the shoulders back a little bit there. A little bend in the knees. Think about the ground again beneath the feet. Press down the big toe mounds, the little toe mound and the heel bone to try and lift the inner arches of the feet, the medial arch. Take one more breath where you are. And then exhale, continue to let your belly drop towards your thighs. Knees stay bent, but interlace your fingers behind you. I always get a little bit like that when I come into a nice big forward fold. Extend the arms over the head with the hands interlaced. Relax the head. Drop the weight of the head and the neck. Move the face. Gently shift the weight forward and back and left to right, moving around the whole soles of the feet. Move the head a little bit here, give it a little nod and a shake. How are your shoulders feeling? How are the arms doing? Take one more breath in here. Exhale, slowly release the hands. Bring your fingertips towards the floor. From there, keep your right foot where it is and step your left foot behind you and lower the left knee to the floor. Once it's down, just stay in this low lunge for a moment. Keep the back toes tucked. I like to rise up onto the fingertips here and inhale, shine your chest forward. Exhale, round the upper back, round it, look in towards your belly. And again, inhale, shine your chest forward, little arch in the spine. Exhale, curve. Now, if you've got your brick nearby, grab it and then place the brick on the inside of the front foot. And take both of your hands on top of the brick. Now, if you don't feel like you need the brick today and you haven't got one, you can always just place the hands to the floor if that's okay as well. So whether the hands are on the ground or on the brick, start to gently shift your hips from side to side. You may even want to heel toe the right foot very slightly over to the right. Maybe even turn the toes out a little bit more to give yourself a bit more space in the hips. This is very personal. And just let the head roll from side to side. And you can always play around with now pointing the back foot. And then again, tucking the toes. See if you prefer a position. You can also lift the back knee off the floor for a moment to get that extra stretch into the hip flexor here, the front of the hip here down into the thigh. And then exhale, lower the knee down. You can do that with your foot pointed too. It's a little bit more intense, but also it's very, very good for the ankle to perhaps lift the knee, the thigh, and the ankle off the floor. Exhale, lower the knee and shin back down again. Play around with that for a few more breaths. And really push the floor away through the hands. And you can sort of visualize what is happening underneath the skin and the muscles here. You're going to keep your brick involved here. Heel toe the right foot further back into the center of the mat and lift the brick out in front of you. If you don't have the brick, just reach the hands out in front of you. Now I want you to tuck the back toes and start to shift your bum directly on top of the back knee. Good. Holding a brick here can actually really help with the balance. Flex the front foot. Flex it, spread the toes. Now my focus for you here is to keep the front foot flexed. Jam the heel into the ground. Keep the heel grounded, but now bend the right knee, couple of inches, and then re-straighten it. And again, bend the right knee, keep the right heel into the floor, foot flexed, and then straighten it out. One more time, bend the right knee. And obviously this is really good for all the core muscles as well. Bring it back. Slowly bring your brick back onto the floor, hands onto the brick or hands all the way to the ground. This is called Ardha Hanuman, which is a half split. Keep the foot flexed. Keep the back toes tucked. Now you can press your hands into the brick or the ground, lift the chest forward like you did in the low lunge before. And then as you exhale, round the spine a little bit, separate the space between the shoulder blades. Now, if you are really digging where you are right now, you're really liking it, just stay exactly where you are. We're going to add in an optional twist. If you're going for the twist, left hand will stay on the brick or straight to the floor. Right foot stays exactly where it is. And if you're going for the twist, right hand is going to reach back behind you. Find that rotation across the ribs. Open it up. I'm definitely a little bit stiff today. Take one more breath in. Exhale, bring your right hand back to where the brick or where the floor is. One more time. Inhale, find that rotation. Press down through the right heel bone. Spread the toes out wide. Right big toe is looking straight up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand down. Then rebend the front knee. This time fully plant the right foot back onto the floor. With your brick, now take the brick over to the right side of the room. Now you can either use that brick to place your hand on. If you again haven't got it, take both of your hands onto your hips for the moment. So right hand either on your hip or right hand on the brick next to you to the right. Then from there, you're going to start to very gently tilt the upper body over to the right and lift your left arm up towards the sky and curve the left arm over the head. Breathe in. Breathe out. What I also quite like to do here is actually take the left hand behind the head, push the head into the hand, and inhale, think about lifting more up through the elbow and the armpits. And as you push the head into the hand, maybe you can add in a very slight little back bend here. Keep the left butt cheek clenched a little bit there, so we still engage the muscles as we go into a slightly deeper stretch. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly bring yourself back up. Walk the hands forward, ditch the brick, don't worry about it. Lift the back knee off the floor. From there, just rock this forward and back. Really push off the back toes. Rock it. You can always flex the front foot again. Lean back onto the heel, spread the toes. And then eventually bend the back knee and spring your back foot forward to meet the front of the mat once again, where you were right at the beginning. Stay over in this slightly more ragdoll style forward fold, so you can have your hands on your shins, your ankles, your feet, or the floor. Bend your knees and really drop the pressure here from the head and the shoulders. One more nice big breath in where you are. Exhale, shift the weight to the left foot, step your right leg back behind you. Stay up on your fingertips as you lower the back knee to the floor. And just notice right now, we've been on the other side for a really long time. How does it feel coming fresh into the other side? Can you notice any considerable differences between the left and the right in general? Or is it just feeling a little bit colder in a way? Is it feeling a little bit more stiff? We need this time for the connective tissue to soften, to release, to move. Inhale, rise up onto your fingertips, chest forward, a little arch in the spine. Exhale, curve the spine. And again, inhale, arch the spine, chest forward. Maybe there's a little shift forward of the hips too. Exhale, curve. Adding in that little rock forward and back, maybe a little circle around the hips too. Whatever you've got here in terms of mobility in the hips, we want to honor it. Grab the brick if you are using it. Don't worry if not. On the inside of the front foot, bring both of your hands. Here you can start to heel toe the left foot slightly over to the left. Turn the left toes out even. Work this nice external rotation in the hips. And of course, you are welcome as well, maybe to bring it down to one forearm, maybe two. Check out how that feels. You can also tuck the back toes, lift the right knee off the floor, stay there for a few moments. You can also point the back foot, press the back of the right foot into the floor, we call the tarsal bones, to lift the right knee and shin off the ground. You decide what's really working for you in this position. Try it out a couple of times. So we really do build up so much muscle in the quads when we cycle. So we want to stretch them out properly. And I know that we don't all do that. And then keep the back toes tucked. Walk your hands back up the brick, heel toe the left foot back into the center of the mat. You're going to grab hold of the brick or just reach those hands straight out in front of you as you start to shift the bum directly on top of the back knee. Then flex the left foot. Reach the hands out in front of you. With or without your brick, completely up to you. Now flex the left foot and we're keeping the heel bone pushing into the floor here. Inhale, think about a string pulling you up through the crown of the head. Exhale, bend the front knee a couple of inches, keep the foot flexed. And this is actually really targeting strengthening the hamstrings, which we don't get a huge amount of. It's usually really overbearing on the front of the thigh. And again, exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, straighten it. And think about the core muscles, really, the abdominals, also around the back and the side of the body. Trying to stay nice and still as you focus. Looking forward, bend the front knee, straighten it. One more time, bend, really push the left heel into the floor. Then straighten it up. From there, lower the brick or the hands down to the ground. Ardha Hanuman, find our split. Keep the left foot flexed as it is. Hands compress into the floor or the brick. Pull out through the crown of the head. Breathe in. There's that slight arch in the spine and then lift up through the chest. Exhale, round the spine a little bit here. Keep the left foot attentive. One more time. Breathe in. Slight arch in the spine. Lift the chest forward. Broaden the collarbone. Squeeze the shoulders back. Exhale, curve. You can stay exactly as you are or add in the twist. Right hand stays where it is. Inhale, reach the left hand behind you. Find that rotation, find the twist. What I also love about this is it targets the IT band and the TFL, the glute medius, the piriformis. Exhale, left hand back to where it was on the brick or not. One more time if you're going for the twist. Keep the left foot really active. Breathe in. That way we can properly target the hamstrings. Exhale, left hand back. Take a moment here, just maybe roll the head from side to side, drop it. And then lower the left toes all the way down to the floor. We're going to lift ourselves up and take the brick over to the left side of the mat or of wherever you are. You don't have to be using a mat. You can either take the left hand on the brick or hands onto the hips. And then reach the right arm up towards the sky as you start to then tilt over to the left. Breathe in. Breathe out. And again, you can always bring your right hand behind the head, push the head into the hand, inhale. I find this incredibly intense. Exhale as it also targets the psoas, sort of around the waist, into the hips and down into the front of the thighs. One more breath in. Exhale, let go of the head if you've gone for it. Ditch the brick. Bring your hands to frame your front foot. Lift the back knee off the floor and just rock forward and back gently, really springing off the back toes. Now, rather than springing forward, you're going to step your left foot back into a high plank. Take a moment here, squeeze the legs together, push the ground away. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. Inhale, push, breathe in. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down onto your belly. You can do this by lowering the knees, or you can just go straight down in one straight line. We're going to take it into what we call Shalabhasana. It's a back stretch and strengtheners. Point the toes, interlace your fingers behind you. Squeeze the shoulders back again, so we're targeting the front of the body here as well. Slide your fist down the glutes. Point the toes and still connect the backs of the feet onto the floor. I want you to even think about trying to push the little toes into the ground. By doing that, we're adding a little bit of internal rotation to the thighs for a moment. Inhale, lift up through the back of the head. Try not to lean forward with the chin. Tuck the chin down very slightly and focus on lifting up through the back of the skull. Exhale, keep the hands interlaced, but lower one cheek onto the mat. Have a moment to relax, maybe bum a little bit. And again, squeeze the shoulders back, point the toes, press down through the feet, lift up through the back of the head. Exhale, drop the left cheek onto the mat. Wiggle the hips out a little bit there. One more time, inhale, lift up. This time, lift your feet. This time, lift the hands. Keep them interlaced, but lift the fist as high up as you possibly can. Where are you feeling that? Exhale, release everything. Hands underneath your shoulders and push back into all fours. Start to drop your hips back towards your heels. You can tuck the toes if you like. And then inhale, rock the chest forward, all fours. Exhale, rock the bum back. Inhale, rock forward. We're going to take this but extend one leg out to the side. Take your left foot out to the side, plant the left foot into the floor, and continue to rock your bum back and rock the chest forward. And again, rock it back, rock it forward. Keep the left hand on the floor and the left foot exactly as it is. Lift your right arm up towards the sky, working on thoracic rotation, that mid-back. And then exhale, thread the right arm through underneath the left arm. Keep your hips high, and maybe the whole of the back of the right arm can come down to the floor. Perhaps the right side of the head can come down too. Left hand stays out in front of you. Just give me one big breath in here. Target the back of the body. And one full exhale. Push the left hand into the floor to unravel from this pose. Reach the right arm back up towards the sky. Exhale, take the right hand down. Bring your left knee back underneath your left hip and take it to the other side. Right foot steps out to the right. Push the bum back towards your heels. And then rock the chest forward over the hands and the wrists again. And again, exhale, rock it back. Take it forward. One more time, rock it back. Take it forward, right hand stays as it is, left arm comes up towards the sky. Exhale, left arm threads through underneath the gap of the right arm. Hips stay high, left side of the head is on the floor, and really think about targeting that space between the shoulder blades. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breathe in to come up, push your right hand into the floor, and lift the left hand up towards the sky. Exhale, left hand down, bring your right knee back underneath you. And grab your brick again if you have it. Take the brick more towards the top of the mat. Place your hands on top of the brick. Really press your hands firmly into it. Keep your hips high above the knees. But then start to drop the armpits towards the ground. Push the hands into the brick, or of course into the ground instead. If you haven't got a brick, take your hands out about as wide as the mat. Keep your hips high and drop the chest and the armpits towards the ground. They might not touch the floor, and that's totally fine. If you're using the brick, maybe the forehead can go to the floor. Spread your fingers really wide. Think about the detail of these stretches, because sometimes they can just add a whole new layer of goodness to them. And it almost kind of feels like as well you're getting pulled back by the hips, but you're cemented down through the fingertips and through the palms of the hands. Exhale, slowly push the hands into the brick, lift the head. Walk the hands underneath you, ditch the brick. And then you're going to roll over to one hip, doesn't matter which side, so you can just bring your legs out in front of you. And as you're sat here on your bum, cross your right foot and ankle on top of your left thigh. Kick the left heel a little bit further out in front of you, flex the foot, and take your hands behind you. I like to rise up onto the fingertips here. Flex both of the feet. Attention into the toes. Push out through the big toe mound. I also like to call this the bunion bone. Push through it. Chest forward towards your shin and gently rock side to side. You're on the piriformis / glute medius. It can be that sort of satisfying, intense stretch feeling. Chest up towards the sky, shoulders back. Now you can stay here 100% for a few more breaths, or we cradle the leg. So if we're going to cradle the leg, you bring the sole of this right foot into the crease of the left elbow. And then you take the crease of the right elbow around the right knee. And then maybe hug it a little bit closer up towards you. You can extend your left leg out in front of you and cradle this. If this is a little bit too much, you're like, what the hell is that? You can always grab hold of the foot and the knee with your hands, straighten out the leg that's underneath you, and rock this from side to side. And you're in control of how much you rock this leg, how much you cradle it. Try and keep the connection through the sit bones on the floor as much as you can, lengthening the waist rather than just immediately slumping down just to be able to grab the leg. There's really no point doing this if you just crunch everything up, find as much space as possible. Take one more breath in where you are. And then exhale, slowly release this right foot from your left thigh, etc. And then we'll take it to the other side. Flex the right foot and cross the left foot and ankle on top of the right thigh. Fingertips back behind you, both the feet are active. Lift the chest up towards the shin bone or even further up towards the ceiling, and gently rock this from side to side. And what's quite nice as well is to get into the head and into the neck and close the eyes. Play around with it. Maybe something feels really good that you just found. Linger in it a little bit more. Of course, you can stay here. If this was just hitting the spot for you, stay. Otherwise, you can take your hands around the sole of the foot and the knee, or elbow creases around the foot and the knee instead. Extend the right leg long and rock this from side to side. Take another really big breath in and exhale. Release your legs. Stretch the legs out in front of you. You can, of course, bend your knees here for a forward fold, hinge forward, hands towards the toes, or you can straighten the legs. If anyone's got very open hamstrings and you want to use your brick, you can also place the brick around the soles of the feet. Keep the sit bones connected to the ground. Pull up through the crown of the head. Keep the collarbones broad wherever you are, which is why I do suggest bending the knees if you struggle to grab the toes. Bend them, shoulders broad, collarbones even broader. Flex the feet wherever you are to target the hamstrings and the backs of the legs. And maybe over time, the legs straighten a little bit more. Maybe over time, you come a little bit further down the legs. And each day will be a bit different, probably, depending on how far you may have cycled or what you will have done. Take one more breath in. And one more breath out. Ditch the brick if you have it. Lift your torso back up. Now, I just want you, for the final thing to do, is swing the legs round, sit onto your knees, so that you're really sat here on your heel bones, and crawl the fingers a bit further behind you. And then lift your chest up towards the sky to find this nice arch in your spine. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep your right hand on the floor. Lift your left arm up towards the sky. And as you lift your left arm up towards the sky, squeeze your bum, press down through the shins, and push the hips forward. Exhale, lower your bum to your heels. Left hand down. Lift your right arm up towards the sky now. Squeeze the bum, push the hips forward. And find that nice, beautiful back bend, but it's supported because you've got nice, strong legs, engaged glutes, and an open chest. Exhale, lower down. Both hands behind you, fingertips into the floor. You can stay just as you are with your bum on your heels, or push the hips forward. Squeeze your bum and just let the head gently fall back. Exhale, lower your bum down. And then come into a comfortable seat for a moment. It can be sat on your brick, it can be kneeling, it can be cross-legged. What do you feel good doing right now? And as you're sat here on your bum, roll the shoulders a couple of times forward and back. Roll the head from side to side. Really enjoy letting the weight of the head drop down by your chest. And then find a neutral position. Hands can rest on your thighs, palms up or down, up to you. Take a little moment before you zoom off the mat or wherever you are. A nice big breath in, maybe a few. And then if you've got your eyes closed, gently blink them open. Let the light back in. And take a little bow to yourself. Thank you very much, body. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope your body's feeling nice and open, stretched, worked, whatever you've been doing today. Take care of it. And as always, please come back to my channel, Alice Trow Yoga. If you like my stuff, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to do some full length flows, I've got a whole heap of them on my website, alicetrawyoga.com. Thanks once again. Have a great day.